Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Netgear Push-to-TV PTV3000. This is Netgear's third generation wide-eye adapter that is Intel's wireless display technology. You can see the logo right there in the lower right-hand corner, and as you can see, it does label right on the bottom of the packaging that it requires a laptop with Intel wide-eye or Miracast that pertains specifically to smartphones and tablets. So this is pretty much the adapter to purchase right now if you're looking to literally mirror whatever you have on your tablet, smartphone, or laptop, as long as it does support, as I mentioned, Miracast or wide-eye. Operating system will definitely have an effect on the different generations of functionality. By generations, I mean, I did mention this is the third gen. It's priced at $59.99. The first and second generations will not work with Windows 8. The first gen supported 720p video. The second gen bumped it up to 1080p, and now here we have 1080p, I believe, at higher frames per second, I believe 60 frames per second wirelessly. More importantly, though, we have a completely new form factor. For those of you who know this product, this brand, the previous gen, then you know that this used to be substantially larger. Clearly, the PTV3000 is meant to travel, and that's also because it supports being powered by a USB cable. In other words, the display that you're connecting it to, if it has a USB port, it will actually be able to power itself, much like Chromecast right there below, which I will be comparing this to through the course of this unboxing, albeit lightly, not an in-depth comparison. So $59.99, significantly less than previous generations, a far more polished product, at least on paper, because those previous gens were really beta, in my opinion. Here we've got something that makes a lot more sense if you're really going to make an argument for ditching an HDMI output on all of your smart devices, whether we're talking about tablets, smartphones, or laptops. In terms of marketing, I'm not going to really focus too much on that because I've pretty much covered exactly what this does, but there's a pretty good picture to indicate specifically what it's literally doing, and again, mirroring the exact experience you have on your smartphone, tablet, or laptop. And it's all as simple as really just having that direct Wi-Fi connection. You don't even have to have an actual router. It's just a matter of each device having that direct Wi-Fi capability to communicate with one another. So no internet necessary, but yes, both devices do have to be wide-eye or Miracast compatible. Both devices, obviously this one is, but I mean the one you plan to pair it with. So let's get it out of the packaging. Easy open, which is something I like to see. Netgear must have paid attention to the fact that blister packaging like this usually is about as unpleasant a thing to open as possible. It is incredibly loud, though. I don't know that my mic will necessarily be picking it up. But as I say, it's easy. Well, it was easy until there. So apparently, as much as I wanted the easy packaging to work out, and don't get me wrong, it has perforations here, cutouts. It just didn't work out for me. And now I run the risk of possibly cutting my hand open, which I'm sure there are some on the channel that might be interested in seeing that. But, well, it looks like I'm going to have to use scissors after all. So let's go the old-fashioned route. I really thought this would be possible, but in any event, still excited to get this. Again, the portability factor is really what it's all about with this product, because when you look at the first or second gen, forget the fact that they just didn't compare to this overall. You were also dealing with something that was just another piece of gear that you were going to have, in your entertainment barrage under your home theater system. And with a product like this, you don't run into that problem anymore. You can see I'm not making a lot of headway with this easy packaging. This, went from what I anticipated would be one of the easiest unboxings to one of the most difficult so far. Luckily, I'm not bleeding at this point, but a box cutter may have proved an easier route with this thing. And I'm not really worried about what's going to happen to the paper, as you may have noticed. Let's just get it out of here already. There we go. Because basically, all we're looking at right now is the actual power brick. It took that long to get to it, thanks to the easy packaging. But you can blame me for that, obviously, too. Hopefully I entertained all of you with that struggle. But you can see we've got the power brick. This is in the event you don't have the ability or a available USB port on the display you're connecting this to. So in my case, my television does have a USB port. Most TVs manufactured in the last several years will have a USB port on board, which means that much like Chromecast, you will be able to power this without running a wire, having a wire hanging down from the display you decide to actually use this device to stream with. But in the event that you don't have one, they have provided a power brick. But keep in mind, this cable does have limited length. I'm not sure exactly how long it is, and if there was paperwork there, well, I don't think there was any in what I destroyed, but either way, yeah, no, the paperwork is right here. Not that it's going to mention exactly what we're working with. We've got a getting started guide, not that that's anything shocking, and that's interesting. But yeah, pretty much it there in terms of paperwork. And finally, the adapter, which I still haven't gotten out of the packaging, but now it's out. Let's get rid of this easy solution, which, by the way, I will comment again, that's on me. This really, from what I've seen, is generally effective, but you all saw on that tear it went. To the actual PTV3000. By the way, if you're wondering about the naming of this device, the reason it's called the PTV is because, after all, it is a push-to-TV device. So while it may sound like a convoluted name, that is why it has it. Really small, first impression. Of course, plastic. This is made in China, I would imagine. Where else would it be from? And essentially, again, just really impressed with the fact that we've gone from a device that last generation, the PTV3000, the first one to be able to carry a 1080p signal, was about 4, maybe 5 times the size of this, and as I mentioned before, required a power brick. Here we're looking at something that clearly is designed for on-the-go use, and as I mentioned before, also acknowledges that this is really the, I won't say the general solution for replacing the HDMI out that many users used to have on their phones, but it is, in a sense, because it is portable now. In the past, you couldn't take, I mean, you could if you wanted to take the previous gens with you on the road, but they were really not practical. This, on the other hand, clearly can travel. So your HDMI out, which is going to connect directly to your monitor of choice or television, a reset pinhole on the far right there, and then we have the actual USB port to power it, which is a mini USB port. Go figure there. Everybody's used to seeing micro. The actual power button right there, I believe, and that's pretty much it. Piano gloss finish, a fingerprint magnet, but then again, you're not going to really be holding this. And the beauty of this is that when you use a device like this, even though you can make the argument for HDMI out, a standard HDMI cable, I always have personally, the reality is that the phone does get tied up, or the tablet, whatever you're using to stream, ends up, getting tethered, literally hanging off of the display you're using. Here, this ends up hanging off of it. And considering its form factor, its profile, and hopefully performance, and now lowered price point, because as I mentioned, first and second gen, around $100, now we're looking at a $60 device. That may be a reflection of the market. It may be a reflection of popularity overall. I think Netgear, though, if this one works out and outperforms the PTV3000, is a warranted buy for just about anybody out there, because everyone has a device, one way or another, that supports this. If you have an Android smartphone, tablet, of course, WiDi certified Intel-based laptop, then you can do it. Now, comparing it to Chromecast, well, here you've got a device that does not have the capability of something like this. Clearly, Chromecast is only going to talk to an Android device, or ideally, I should say, only communicate with an Android device. And the concept here is more about streaming content rather than mirroring anything. Even though you can control Chromecast with your tablet or smartphone, it doesn't have the capability to mirror anything from that device, nor will it work really the way this will with a PC. It does work with a PC. You can browse the web. It's just a much more limited experience. Chromecast is still a game changer at $35. I mean, that's less than the Netgear PTV3000, but Chromecast, again, is really about selling you distributed content. That's why Netflix, at launch was a big push with this device, and really a lot of people purchased it just for that and the Hulu Plus capability, because that alone at its price point made sense. And HBO Go looks great on here. Will you experience some lag with Chromecast? Sure. And that's why when I hear people say that, they're disappointed with wireless display capability, I don't know what they're really expecting yet, especially at these sort of price points. This is definitely about value. It's clear that whether we're talking about Chromecast or a wide-eye adapter, the market has decided these things need to be inexpensive in order for customers to really embrace them. This is going to give you the ability to do anything you want. Chromecast for $35 is going to let you do what Google wants you to do. That's my best way of summing up the difference. So while I love Chromecast, it's for a different customer really than the wireless display adapter. That's my best way of summing up which is probably right for you. But let me actually get to using the wireless display adapter before I can give a true, clear review on whether or not it is actually worth even that $59.99 price point. But in terms of what it's capable of, it is in a completely different league than Chromecast. Chromecast is strictly a streaming device, again, that allows you to do what Google wants you to be capable of. This, on the other hand, will let you do anything. Hope everyone enjoyed, answered some questions through the course of this video. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.